In this video, we review and react to One Piece Manga Chapter 987. If you haven't read the chapter yet, I suggest that you do. Anyway, let's get right to it. The translations I've read have very different meanings, so I suggest that you wait for the official translation to avoid any confusion. This chapter is great overall, and I find that Kinemon's monologue was the best part of it. I felt that it was pretty short, but the war officially begins. And the chapter starts off with a flashback. I was actually so confused for a pretty good amount of time because I know I've seen these before, and the scanlation I was reading the panel on didn't have the panel shaded, so I had a hard time figuring out if I was on the correct manga chapter. But anyway, Kaido was remembering the final moments of Odin with focus on his last words to his scabbards and to Kaido. Next, we continue to the present time and we are treated to the confirmation that most of the scabbards were able to wound Kaido. I was really suspecting that just Ashura Doji and Denjiro and the cat and the dog were going to be able to do that, but we clearly see Kiku and Kinemon inflict wounds on him. I couldn't make out who of the other scabbards were able to stab him, especially Nekamamushi's panel at first, because the scans I read had really bad resolution to it, and I couldn't make out what he was doing, if he was biting Kaido's arm or whatever, just until recently. That's why I made this reaction video a bit late. But anyway, it seemed that Nekomamushi was just pinning Kaido's arm down, or maybe twisting it a little bit. But Kaido was shocked with the scabbards possessing Oden's Ryuo. And right now, I'm under the impression that as long as a character knows Ryuo and gets a clean hit in, he might be able to deal damage even to Kaido or Big Mom. So, by using the same logic, I assume that Luffy and Zoro are going to be able to manage to take on Kaido along with the scabbards. But going back, Kaido's crew realizes what was happening, and now they scream out, "Take out your weapons! It's a raid!" And we cut to the next page, and we see that Kaido also felt the pain from the scar that Oden gave him, along with the confirmation of his crew that Kaido was groaning in pain. We then have the awesome panel of all of them on the way down, and with the determined faces of the scabbards shouting out, "Stab him!" as they drop down to the activity hall, which had pretty good impact to it, seeing how the gifters had to move away or were blown away by the unceremonious landing. I really can't wait to see this in the anime, although I'm still at episode 308 right now. But I imagine that by the time I get to the Wano arc, it would be around the same time that this episode would be aired out. But moving forward, as expected, Hyogoro and the other samurai in disguise would reveal themselves. I was actually imagining the samurai to take advantage of the confusion and start slashing people up before they reveal themselves. But they straight up removed their disguises and revealed themselves. I would like to believe that this is more of a samurai honor thing rather than just a writing for a better fight scene thing. Not sure if that makes sense, but we skip forward to Big Mom and her obvious concern for her new ally. It's almost as if she nonchalantly says, "Wow, this is a great party. Is Kaido dead?" Hmm, okay. I think she just wasn't too concerned with it, knowing how Kaido is from all of the years that they were together with the Rocks Pirates. I'm sure they've been through a lot of weird punishment, and Kaido probably just kept on trucking. Anyway, Yamato and Luffy were rushing so they could try and attack Kaido while he was down, but who shows up to get in their way? One of my favorite characters in this arc, Ulti. I'm sure I'm not the only one that instantly loved her personality the moment she was introduced. She's really quite the character and she shows more of it here. Even Luffy seems to like her already because he already has a nickname for her. She is now aptly named as Headbutt. Obviously, Ulti is still mad about Yamato's betrayal and confronts her for it. Yamato says that it's time to become Odin. I was like, "Nani?" And Ulti busts her with an epic reply. "Are you an idiot? That doesn't make sense." And, and we cut to some of the gifters updating Yamato of the situation and tells them officially that they are not allies and that she doesn't care what happens to Kaido anymore. And while Yamato was fighting with Ulti, Big Mom rushes Luffy and he was like, "Not now, I'm busy," which was quite funny. And we see Nami and Carrot escape from the homies. Big Mom didn't care about them anymore and just focused on Luffy, telling him, "I traveled from a faraway land just to kill you." And I'm actually surprised that Luffy didn't tell her that they came from the same place. I thought it would be funny. But now we have Kaido. He's standing up from the Bashers and was impressed from what the Scabbards had done for the past 20 years. He starts to talk about how it's normal for pirates to betray and they would fall from the same fate by allying themselves with Luffy. And here comes the best part of the whole chapter for me. Kinemon tells Kaido that Luffy is different. He starts talking about stuff that Zoro, Usopp, and Sanji would probably talk about and tells Kaido to his face that Luffy will become the Pirate King one day and that Luffy will bring the dawn to Wano. Then we cut back to Big Mom and Luffy. Big Mom asks Luffy if he went to Wano because he intends to beat up Kaido, and Luffy tells her no, much to the confusion of Old Man Hyo, Yamato, and myself. He tells everyone that he's not here just to beat Kaido. He was here to beat Kaido, Big Mom, the commanders, and Orochi's whole squad. Dun 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 dun. Dun. I've come to kick all of your asses. Dun 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 dun. And then Big Mom was like, "Mama, mama, a few hundred people is nothing." Then Queen backs her up. Yeah. And then there was an announcement saying that there were thousands of rebels coming from the back. No innuendo intended. And we get another panicked and surprised look from Queen. I feel like the comedic effect that Oda is trying to achieve from Queen could be better. I just feel like it's funny but not too funny. Given that Queen's character is so strong and was built up so well, the shock and panic doesn't suit the character, but it might just be me. Anyway, we get an update of what's happening around the island, and a lot of translations I've read strike me with the dialogue that the Rebel Alliance's number kept increasing. It might be a translation thing. It might be that from the perspective of the person making the announcement, that he keeps seeing more rebels come in, or that some people from Orochi's squad is defecting or are defecting. I'm not too sure about that, but I feel like it's from the announcer's perspective that the rebel army just keeps coming in. The biggest surprise now is that Marco and Perospero seem to be working together. I was expecting that Marco would see Perospero and they would be fighting but not fighting together. So that was a surprise. I'm curious to see what happens next year because I feel like Perospero won't let go of the grudge that he has for the Straw Hats. So yeah. Anyway, Kaido transforms into a dragon and flies upward and accepts Luffy's challenge. And we see the epic last panel with Kaido's dragon form, and he's now sobered up from all that had happened. I like how he tells the Scabbards that this is a good place to fight in, just like the time that he fought with Odin and the Scabbards, just that Odin isn't there with them anymore. And with Kaido's lines in this whole chapter, it makes me feel that he's like a better Doflamingo than Doflamingo. He is so much better at stirring up emotions from the person that he's trying to provoke. But we have an epic reply from Nekomamushi that the whole Mink tribe was there. And as Kaido opens the dome and lets the moonlight shine through, we get teased to the Sulong transformations that will be happening very, very soon. I'm super excited about that. And lastly, is it just me, or does Nekomamushi look like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland? Anyway, we end the review here, and I hope you enjoyed the chapter just as much as I did. Thank you so much for watching. Crush the like button just like the Scabbards crushed Kaido's body, and comment down below what you think. is the best part of this chapter. And subscribe to the channel so it can grow, and watch out for the next video because we try and predict what's gonna happen in chapter 988. So, as always, stay safe, peace.